Jamaica, Jamaica. Praise the Lord. Let's talk a little about our Jamaica. That little clip I just showed you is the Prosperity Highway only for the upper class and not for the lower class. The lower class do not have a car. They don't need a highway. That is for the upper class. So when they gave you a highway and tell you the highway is free until such time, they are not talking about the lower class people. They are talking about the upper class people who have cars on the street. Lower class people don't even have donkey. But they are building highway and they are telling you that it's free, and everybody clap and glorified the highway, which they probably possible won't be on forever. We talk about the holes in the nest of the Jamaican House of Parliament. They have no limit. The holes in the nest of the Jamaican House of Parliament, they have no limit of where they should go. And one thing I can tell you, that they confuse the people. They confuse many people, telling them that they are going to give them prosperity. 7 years and there is no prosperity. Why? Because there is a hole in the nest of the House of Parliament. So when you put your eggs in a nest, you expect it to stay in the nest and it should be manifested and germinate and bring you chickens and prosperity out of that nest. But what we did not understand, there is many holes in the nest of Parliament. Many holes in the nest of Parliament. So you can't get no prosperity, because all the eggs is going in the nest and falling out and break. So there's no prosperity from that egg that goes in the nest. The nest is broken. The nest is damaged. And we are looking for prosperity out of the holes in the nest. But the nest is damaged. So I want to tell somebody today, after 7 years and there's no prosperity, after 7 years and there is no prosperity out of that holes in the nest of the House of Parliament, dig another well. Dig another well. There is no opportunity in the holes of the nest. Dig another well. Dig another well. So I'm talking to our Jamaican folks today. Time has come to dig another well. Time has come to dig another well. The well that you have dig 7 years ago, looking for prosperity. Prosperity did not show up because there is holes in the nest of House of Parliament. Dig another well. Dig another well. You know, I want to say something here. It's so funny. Andre Stevens, as we all know him as Partner John, many folks did not like him, and you know something? That's okay. Because when God is using you, many folks is going to disapprove of you. That's okay. That's the challenge that we all meet. That's the challenge that we all encounter with. You will find obstruction, hate, malice, discouragement to come against you when you are doing the work of God. And Andre Stevens, they may criticize him and they may say who he were or who he is. The point is not who he is what he is doing. But we miss the point by looking at the brother and say, well, they call him all sort of names. And we are not paying attention of the work that he is doing. But I tell you one thing. The holes in the nest recognize. You see, the holes in the nest is not looking at him as who he is and what he is, but they are looking at him of what he is doing to them. And we miss the picture by focusing our attention on the man himself, but we are not focusing on the message that he is delivering, the things that he is bringing out for you to understand what is going on in the halls of Parliament. We fail to understand, we fail to recognize, because we focus our eyes upon the man and not upon the prize. Andre Stevenson, he may look funny, he may sound funny, but if you pay attention to the words that came from his mouth, it makes sense. And the holes in the nest recognize what his word can do to the nest. And this is why you see Andre Stevens get so much of fight. Not fighting to say of the people who don't understand, but more of the people who do understand what is going on. The holes in the nest. Oh, glory be to God. I want to tell somebody something. In 1 Corinthians 1, verse 27 to 31, Paul told the Corinthians, God has chosen the weak things of the world. And I want to talk to you. God has chosen the weak things of the world. And you may say, well, you know, many folks call Andre Stevenson a fish or whatever word you may call him, and they use him and say, well, he's not good and he's just fighting on his behalf just to put himself in a position where he can secure it in his own personal life. But I want to tell you, as much as you criticize Andre Stevens was on a mission to clean up the holes in the Parliament. Andre Stevens was on a mission to clean up the holes in the House of Parliament. God used Andre Stevenson for that purpose. And what we all don't understand, that the enemy tried to take down Andre Stevenson. We may say, well, you know, Andre Stevenson may suffer from some sickness and this is why he launched on. No, we need to back check ourselves. We need to back check ourselves. He may have some sort of challenge in his life of young youth. But what Andre Stevens is going through now have nothing to do with his challenge that he have in his youth. It's a deliberately attack upon Andre Stevens to silence him. I want to talk to you again. It's an attack upon him, spiritual attack, to silence him, because he is pointing out the holes that is in the nest of the House of Parliament. So I want to say this to you, that when God had choose Andre Stevenson, we may say, well, God can't use him. Let me tell you something. God used anything to bring him the glory. We may say, well, Andre Stevenson is not up to date, that God should use him to do. Let me tell you again, God use anything to bring him the glory because he is God. He'll use, remember, it says in the Bible, God will use the foolish things to confound the wise. Don't you know that the holes in the nest are wise? This is why they have holes in the nest, so it won't contain all the eggs that gets in the nest. The eggs have to be disappear from the bottom of the nest, which no one recognizes that the eggs is disappearing from the bottom of the nest and went someplace else. Yes, they claims to be wise. And I want to tell you something. You see, Andrea Stevenson was bringing awareness to the Jamaican folks, where they will understand what is taking place of the corruptions that going on in the holes of the parliament, the holes in the nest of the parliament. So God used Andre to confound the wise. And you may say, but what are you trying to say? It means that Andre Stevens was put in shame and embarrassment to confuse and frustrate the wise man. And the wise man understand that it was a attack upon him, that we may call Andre Stevenson a fool, and he's this and he's that. But the wise man did not look at him as a fool. The wise man looked at him as a man to tear down the holes in the nest, and they recognize it. They recognized it. Because they are mighty. And because they are mighty, they understand what the Stevens was doing. While other is talking about the Stevenson in a negative part of way, the holes in the nest recognize what the Stevens was about to destroy and determine and demolish their reputation in a good way. Because we may say, well, Andre Stevens was doing it in a negative way. He was doing it in a wise way that we never understand what he was doing, because we never seen such a challenge. We never seen such a challenge before of the Andre Stevenson Partners Jaw TV. And the fight that he gets from his producer and everyone that fights him, it's an attack to destroy the platform. It's not an attack on him personally. No, it's an attack to destroy the platform so he won't bring awareness of the holes in the parliament. Mighty God. Many don't understand. And many will laugh, and I see many social media who will have Andre Stevenson, and they will say, well, Andre Stevenson did this, and Andre Stevenson did that. But they don't recognize what Andre Stevenson was doing as God was using them to fight for the same person, the same people who criticize him and call him names. Andre Stevens was fighting for them when he attacked the holes in the parliament. Glory be to God. And we might go after Andre Stevens. But I want to tell somebody today, whatever difference you have with Andre Stevenson's personal life, withdraw from it and look into the work that he was doing for you, for me, that who came from the diaspora, live in the diaspora, and can't see the prosperity. Prosperity. Prosperity highway. Free tolls. You don't have to pay to ride, to drive on the toll. But yeah, it's not for us. It's for the higher class. It's not for the lower class people. It's for the higher class. The higher class is the one who is going to benefit. And I want to ask the lower class now, what are you going to benefit from that highway? Because if you get on that highway, you must be in a taxi or a minibus. You have to pay your fare. Glory be to God. The minibus driver may go through, the taxi may go through without paying a toll, but you got to pay the fare because you got to get to your destination. The taxi and the minibus driver will not say to you, well, the toll is free, so we're giving you a free ride. No, they're not going to say, well, the toll is free, so we are going to reduce your fare. No, they are going to collect their fare while they ride on the highway for now for free. So we who don't have a car, and some of you don't have nothing, don't even have the money to pay for car fare, it's not for you. So don't take the prosperity highway as a prosperity for you. It's not for you. It's for someone else. So let's talk about the mighty man. And we may not say, well, who's the mighty man? Who is the mighty man? Well, the mighty man described as people who have political power over you. And let me say it again. The mighty man is someone who have political power over you. The holes in the nest, they have political power over you. Let me repeat that for you. The holes in the nest have political power over you. They are the mighty man. So Andre Stevens was sent to disturb the mighty man by God. And we criticize and we talk about him and his agenda. We make false declaration about him. But Andre Stevens was doing what he was sent to do. At a time, he may sound loud, he may sound funny, but he was on the mission of God to do what God sent him to do. To be a watchman in the halls of Parliament. To confuse and embarrass, frustrate the holes in the house of the Jamaican Parliament. And the holes in the Parliament recognize and they create a narrative of power to destroy Andre Stevens. But I want to call on to all my Jamaican people. Time come, dig another well. Time come, dig another well. You dig one well for 7 years, and that well fail you. Dig another well. Time come. Dig another well. The holes in the nest of the house of Parliament that have no limit. And the only way to stop them from continue, no limit, is to dig another well. Dig another well. Time come. Choose a party who will work for you. Choose a party. We may say, well, you know, the other side of party may never be so good. But at the same time, God is saying to you, dig another well. Dig another well. Time come. Dig another well. The highway of prosperity. Dig another well. time come, dig another well.